If you look like Roxanne Wolf, call me. Hey, it's Ali. Welcome back to my channel. So I have tripped and fell down the FNAF rabbit hole once again. You know, just when you think it's over, just when you think, oh, I can finally move on with my life, my FNAF phase is over, FNAF is like trickling out, they go, bam, DLC, bam, new movie, bam, new game. It's one after another. And I have given up trying to stop. I have given up trying to stop being a part of the FNAF fandom. So here we are, my second video about FNAF, specifically about Ruin. This is like an impromptu review of Ruin and where I think the future of FNAF will go. Oh my god, this is my third video on FNAF. Girly. Girly. Alright, well, this is my impromptu FNAF Ruin review. Help me. If at any time you like this video, please give a like and subscribe because I make videos like this all the time, apparently. This is my third video. Comment down below your favorite part of Ruin, where you think the FNAF series is going from here, and let's jump into it. Let's get one thing straight. Cassie? That's my girl. That's my homegirl. That's my niece right there, okay? Also, Roxanne Wolf? Y'all? I'm not a furry. But if I was, I'm just saying. Anyway, now I do at some point want this to be an actual review, so let's get that out of the way first. A lot of people were talking about if FNAF Ruin was going to fix FNAF security breach. I don't think it was going to. I never had hopes that it was going to. I just wanted Steel Wool to show what we've all known and what we have seen in the past, which is that they can make a good game. Like, we all know when Help Wanted 1 came out, we were all blown out of the water by it, especially it being a VR game. And I don't know if you know this, but VR games are not known for being the highest quality. So to have FNAF VR be quite literally one of the highest quality VR games just ever made is saying something about Steel Wool's quality to make a game. I think what went wrong with Security Breach is there's a lot going on in Security Breach. I think it's a lot of setup. I think trying to mix this entire like sci-fi new age world with like the old like hauntedness of OG FNAF is something that a lot of people either like or don't like. I personally think it can be a really good thing, but I think it is kind of new, and because it's kind of new, there's no way to like merge the two together seamlessly just yet. But I think we're getting there. We've seen fan games do it, like with the glitched attraction, so I think we can get there. I definitely do think we can get there. I think the original Security Breach was just a lot of setup that I think was supposed to be more. Like, thinking about how big that game was actually supposed to be, especially after having played the DLC. Like, the DLC, like, if you look, like, the whole idea of the VR verse and the Vanny mask and all that, I feel like was supposed to be in the main game. Like, I feel like at some point we were supposed to play as Vanessa and get her side of things. Because she was also, especially the Princess Quest being the, like, canon ending, to not have barely anything about her, especially in Security Breach, is very weird to me. And so I think this entire VR, AR thing with the Vanny mask was supposed to be, like, our introduction to her and explaining that world. That was supposed to be us playing as her. And then in the DLC, when we play as Cassie, it's like, oh, now Cassie has this mask. What are the implications of that? So unfortunately, I think that we should have gotten more of Vanessa within the first one, especially if the whole thing with her mask and this being a quest to save her, somebody who was like taken over by the virus and all that stuff, it would have, like, the implications would have been bigger, especially in the DLC. If the whole thing was like, oh, this virus was overtaking her and messing with her mind and this, that, the third, then in the DLC, it's a lot more concerning that now we have a child, Cassie, who probably also now has this virus infecting her. Because now she has this neural network in her that is, like, implanted in her brain, like, in real life. So that thing is now a part of her forever, honestly. Like, who knows for how long. Also just realized with Vanessa, this is her Vanny mask, which means the neural network got implanted in her first. I don't know if this is like a plot hole or they'll come to talk about this later, but if this thing is now implanted in her as much as it is Cassie, wouldn't that mean that whatever the virus is still inside of her? Or was the Princess Quest minigame her defeating the virus that was already inside of her via the mask? So once again, it would have made a lot more sense if we got some type of like understanding of this mask in the original Security Breach, because then we could be like, oh, Princess Quest was us defeating the virus that was inside of her, which is I think what it's supposed to be. Anyway, And there's so many implications there that I feel like would have made a lot more sense, and the gravity of that situation and the like, oh no girl, like don't pick up that mask would have been a lot more like, oh, like what's with this mask, like type of thing, if we had known anything about Vanessa and this VR AR neural network thing beforehand back in Security Breach. Same thing with the Mimic. Unfortunately, if you don't read the books, you're not gonna know what the fuck the Mimic is, which is like, I'm sorry, like I really feel bad. I definitely agree with everyone's criticism that you should have known about the Mimic in Security Breach. And while it does make sense now, because the Mimic is just this program that is just mimicking everything it sees, including William Afton, because William Afton's brain got scanned into the fucking VR game or like whatever, and that sorry, I'm trying to explain FNAF lore, but his consciousness, or his essence actually at this point, got scanned and uploaded into this VR game, and this virus, which like, where did the virus, that still doesn't make sense on where the virus came from, because the virus is just mimicking the William Afton, girl, I don't know. Girl, I don't know. Anyway, from what I know, from what I believe, the Mimic is pretty much just the virus. And the virus is mimicking, like, William Afton, which is why Burn Trap exists. And now the Mimic has an endoskeleton and wants to be in the real world, wants to have flesh and bones, which is why it wanted Vanessa to make Burn Trap in the first place. And that's just the villain. That's just the villain. We didn't even talk about, like, the whole Mexes thing. That's new. Was that supposed to be in the original game? It seems like it, because when you go down to where Gregory ended the game in Security Breach, the Mexes system is there. So I have a feeling that it's supposed to always be there. Again, what is that? Why was it, if it knew Cassie, I don't know, explanations. If it knew Cassie wasn't a threat because she is a child, then why did it send animatronics after her? You know what I mean? Like, I know, I get for the sake of the actual game itself, because you're supposed to be tricking her this entire time, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It really doesn't. But I've stopped trying to make sense of FNAF lore a long time ago. Let's get into the things I did like, which, aside from that, is the characters. I always have loved the characters. I love the characters so much. The characters were the main thing that I feel like is the reason why Security Breach is even as popular as it is. Like, my entire video, I believe that I made 2 years ago now. Oh my god, 2 years ago now, I think was just gushing over the characters and how much I love the characters, how much I love Freddy. I'm pretty sure it wasn't even a real review of the game, because I didn't even play the original game because I didn't have a computer that was going to be able to run that game. Like, back then I didn't even have that. So for me to like even talk about it and review the game, I had to just be talking about like the characters. I believe it's been 2 years and I haven't seen that video, so but I think that's what I was talking about. Oh my god, I could have worn my cloak thing today. It's fine, I'll wear it for the FNAF movie. What was I saying though? But yes, the characters. I was not expecting Roxanne Wolf. She was the last character I was expecting to like be a like friendly character, which I love that choice. It solidifies that all of these animatronics were originally good. Like, at some point they were all good and they were all programmed to be good, especially the Eclipse part. We'll get to that in a second. It really says that, oh, these animatronics were programmed to like children. They were programmed to take care of children. And Cassie and Roxy, besties for real. That just makes me like feel bad low-key for Monty. Like, I know Monty keeps getting the short end of the stick. Okay, I feel bad for Monty. All right, he's turned into this like feral alligator dog thing, and it's hilarious. But also, like, I feel bad for him because he was not given a fighting chance ever since the beginning. There's still the entire mystery about him and Bonnie. Like, I am a firm believer that he destroyed Bonnie, but the reasonings why, I would like to know. I don't think, like, there had to be something, like, off in his programming that, like, would cause him to do that. Because cause him to have, like, this jealousy streak or anything like that and want to be the top of this, that, the third, like, whatever. It just makes me think, like, maybe because he didn't used to be a main animatronic, like, he used to be a side animatronic, maybe he was easier to hack. Maybe that made the Mimic like easier to hack him or whatever and make him just super aggressive just because he's an alligator and like already just like by design just very strong. Like, that's the only thing that I can think of, like the reasoning, the motive why, because just being like, oh, he's just jealous of Bonnie and wanted to take Bonnie's spot and wanted to take Freddy's spot eventually. It's like, Okay, but yeah, but that jealousy, based off of what we've seen with literally every other animatronic, doesn't make sense. That jealousy makes absolutely no sense for it to be like an ingrained part of his programming. Like something had to infect him or something had to go wrong with his programming in order for him to like become that way. You know what I mean? At least that's my theory. Okay, that's my little game theory. All right, don't come at me. But I feel like something happened that made Monty become jealous and aggressive. I don't think he was just programmed to be jealous and aggressive. That'd be weird. So that's just me. I don't think we're gonna get anything more of it because that man is gone. That animatronic is gone. He got no legs. He don't even have a torso. he's just arms. He's arms and a head at this point. Oh my god. Ruined Monty. Really, his design. The designs of the animatronics were really, really good in this. Another criticism from the original Security Breach to now is that it wasn't scary. And I think while this one was scarier, I don't think it's the scariest we can get. I think we can get scary because I don't know if it was just because it was VR, but FNAF Help Wanted, even when I just watched Markiplier play Help Wanted because I don't own a VR headset because I'm poor. But watching Markiplier play Help Wanted was scary. Like, it was genuinely scary. So I can't imagine being in a VR headspace and having like something stalk you over in the corner and it's like taking up everything and it's just standing in the corner. I cannot imagine that. So I know we can get scarier. So imagine, please, like that level of scariness with the technology mixed in. Like, there are sci-fi horror games out there like Dead Space and that new one, Callisto Protocol. Like, there are scary games, and even those games have like organic like matter and organic undertones. Like, the whole thing is like based off of organic stuff, and also like this horror factor of like stuff messing in your head. If we take all the atmosphere of those games with the creepiness factor of the animatronics and the designs of the animatronics and just put that all together, I think we would get a wonderful game. Especially if we're gonna have, I don't know if it's gonna be Help Wanted 2 or the next game after Help Wanted 2, but somebody mentioned theories about like the next game being taking place like underground, because now there's like network of like underground tunnels with the sister location, and now this FNAF 6 location with Security Breach having the Megaplex having caved in and stuff like that. I think we're onto something there. I think we're onto something. That could be really, really scary to have like both this entire underground tunnel system thing either made by the Mimic or by William Afton, and it all like connects somehow, some way, and to finding out like that could be really good like lore wise as well, to find out that it was all connected and it's been connected for years and years and years, which is why any of this exists in the first place. Because why does sister location exist? Why do people know that sister location exists too? This isn't just something that like, this was a rental services. This wasn't just like something that yes, this was his like underground experimentation, like chamber, whatever. But like also people came down there to rent out animatronics and bring them up and down, which is why we see those two like workers dead at the end of the game. Like at some point this was a normal thing that people knew about. So why? That's a good question. I'm not gonna try to make sense of it. Anyway, back to the characters though. Gregory, do we believe, let me know down in the comments, do we believe that Gregory dropped that elevator? Why would he have access to do that? Like, why would he have access to do that? But then the other question then becomes, but okay, if it was the Mimic who said that and then dropped her, why would he do that? Why would the Mimic drop Cassie? Like, what would be the point of that? To just not let her escape? But then also, why was the Mimic after Cassie in the first place? Is it just like the programming to like kill kids? Possibly. Or maybe, I guess maybe to gain more Remnant, because we totally forgot about that subplot. The whole Remnant subplot. We totally forgot about that. I don't know. I feel like there's more to it. I don't know. I wouldn't like to believe that Gregory is like that. I wouldn't like to believe that, but hey, who knows? I want to see Freddy again. I keep seeing those AUs where Gregory like learns robotics and like pilots Freddy like a mech, like he did in Security Breach. That's a great idea. I love that idea. I wish it was canon. Anyway, I've been talking for way too long about this. So to wrap this up, I just want to say, this has me hopeful. I think it has the fandom very hopeful, because we know that Steel Wool can make a good game. And Security Breach, it's not that it wasn't a good, okay. It wasn't that it wasn't a good game, like, concept. The concept was great, which is why people love it. That's why I still love it. And it's very obvious that they wanted to put so much in there, and there was so much heart and soul that went into the game regardless of how it came out. Oh my god, I forgot to talk about Eclipse. Hold on. Roll it back. roll it back. We gotta talk about Eclipse, babe. I can't just not talk about Eclipse. I'm sorry. I am deep within the daycare attendant fandom on Tumblr, okay? We get up to some shenanigans over there, okay? When Eclipse came out, I was kicking my feet, twirling my hair, giggling. I literally screamed. I was like in the middle of packing when I was watching like Dako's playthrough of it. Oh my god. Seeing Eclipse for the first time in real life. That better not be the last I see of Eclipse. I will riot if that is the last we see of Eclipse. If that's the last we see of any of these animatronics, I will be thoroughly upset. Okay? Thoroughly. Alright? That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, back to my closing statement. It's not that Security Breach was a bad game. It's more or less just like there clearly wasn't enough time to get everything done that they wanted to get done. And that in of itself, we could have, I feel like, an entire different conversation about where game developers should stop and where producers should stop. Getting this game out in time for Christmas, which is when the game came out, I think December 16th of 2021, right? Yeah, I think so. But getting this game out for a holiday audience was always the point, probably. So there, we can have an entire different discussion. Maybe we will one day, especially because I'm a game developer and understanding that like somewhere along the lines you need to cut it off so you can actually get this game out on time. But at the same time, it's like it's clear that even from then there should have been like, okay, we want you to like I feel like there should have been probably more communication about like, we want you to get this far with the game. Anything else, just make it for DLC. And then from there, give them the amount of time that they need to fully flesh out all of those stuff. Because yes, a game developer can absolutely get too ambitious about what needs to go in a game. Absolutely. I feel like Security Breach, too much stuff got cut out for it to be as fleshed out and as well-rounded as it probably should have been. Because all the mechanics were there. The mechanics were there, the story was there, all of that was there. There just wasn't enough time to fully finish it, fully flesh it out. Like, I feel like this idea of the, like, nighttime attendant, like, coming at the end of, like, each hour could have been played off as, like, an actual scary moment if all of the lights just went off. For some reason, for some random reason. Like, the whole, like, idea that Security Breach isn't scary, they really just needed to turn off the lights, was true. They really just needed to turn off the lights. And I mean, and like, maybe when you played as Vanny, or maybe at the end of each hour when the nighttime attendant comes for you, that was supposed to be the time when everything went super dark and scary. And then when the lights come on, that's when you have to go do all the puzzles and, like, all that type of stuff. And then it gets really scary at night. I feel like that would have just, in terms of atmosphere, would have, like, fixed so many things. But I feel like there wasn't enough time to implement those mechanics along with all the other mechanics that clearly they wanted to do. Because again, it's not like we don't have any, like evidence to back up that they know how to make a good game, that Stillwell knows how to make a good game. When you look at Help Wanted was like 100 different games. A lot of them were recreations of the original Five Nights at Freddy's, yes, but then there were also like new games. There were new mechanics, new mini games and stuff like that. So it's clear that they want to add a lot of mechanics to their game. You just gotta give them the time to do it. So, you know, I have high hopes for Help Wanted 2. I have high hopes for whatever the future of FNAF looks like. I just hope we don't make a habit of things being in the books, being in the games, without any in-game explanation for them. Because I don't think that's fair for people who aren't super duper into the lore and just want to play the games. Because not everyone reads the books, okay? You're not going to get me to read a book, okay? That's a lie. I love reading, but I'm not reading those books. Okay, like maybe if I am so inclined to do it. But apparently the way y'all characterize the daycare attendant in those books was very off. So we already have beef. I already have beef with the book, okay? Anyway, thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you did, you are a real one. Again, comment down below how you felt about the DLC, how you feel about the upcoming games. I know some people don't really like the sci-fi approach that's coming, but I feel like sci-fi horror is definitely a genre, and as long as we keep the horror aspect, we'll be fine. So, let me know down in the comments below. You can find me on all my social medias. The day this goes live, hopefully I will also be live. So, you can come catch me on twitch.tv/AliDreamer while I'll be playing games. I'm trying to get back into Minecraft again. And if you want me to play any other games, like a FNAF game, I'm a scaredy cat, but I'll do it for y'all. Let me know. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next episode. Love and peace.